Keir Starmer, the broken promises that are shaking Labour. Keir Starmer's rise to the Labour leadership came with bold promises, a beacon of hope for many who saw him as a potential force to challenge Conservative policies and lead Britain toward a more progressive future. But as his time in leadership unfolds, more and more of those promises are being abandoned, leaving both voters and members of his own party questioning his integrity. Today, we're breaking down the political turbulence brewing within Labour, as MPs and the public react to Starmer's U-turns. We'll also touch on other significant news across the country. But first, if you're interested, don't forget to like and subscribe to join our growing community. When Starmer first took over, he made sweeping pledges, one of the most popular being the abolition of university tuition fees. This promise won him strong support from young voters, many of whom believed that Starmer would be the one to bring real change. However, not long after assuming leadership, that commitment quietly disappeared, leaving students and Labour activists disillusioned. Another key promise was the nationalisation of essential public services like energy, water, and rail. Starmer initially supported this, but over time, his stance weakened. Labour still favours public ownership of rail, but policies on energy and water nationalisation have been watered down or dropped entirely. One of Starmer's most ambitious pledges was a £28 billion plan for a green economy, which aimed to transition the UK toward sustainable energy. But after months of internal party pressure, that amount was dramatically reduced, leaving climate activists disappointed. On education, Starmer had vowed to strip wealthy private schools of their charitable status, a move that would have increased their tax burden. This promise has also been downgraded, with Labour now proposing only minor adjustments to private school tax benefits. More recently, Starmer's handling of the Gaza conflict has caused significant unrest within his party. His perceived support of Israel's actions sparked resignations from several senior Labour MPs, who felt Starmer had abandoned Labour's traditional principles of justice and fairness. These resignations, combined with Starmer's broken promises, have left many questioning his leadership. Some ask, if Labour MPs no longer trust their leader, why should the British public? His actions have cast doubt on whether his words carry any weight, further eroding public confidence. Questions have also been raised about Starmer's campaign finances, with investigations focusing on large donations and undeclared gifts. One notable controversy involves Labour peer Lord Wahid Ali, who reportedly provided luxury accommodations and high-end fashion to Starmer's campaign, much of which went unreported. Despite these mounting challenges, Starmer's leadership hasn't been without attempts at reform. One of his most notable efforts is the proposed Employment Rights Bill, aimed at modernising labour rights. However, critics argue the bill lacks real substance, failing to fully address key issues like the controversial fire and rehire practice, which Labour had previously vowed to ban outright. Instead, the bill only restricts the practice under certain conditions, leaving unions and workers dissatisfied. Starmer's failure to bring about promised reforms in other areas, like NHS funding and social care, further highlights his leadership struggles. Waiting times remain high, and healthcare workers are threatening strikes over pay. As the first 100 days of Starmer's premiership approach, the internal divisions within Labour are growing more pronounced. With a series of U-turns, broken promises, and disillusioned MPs, the future of Starmer's leadership remains uncertain. Only time will tell how much control he can retain over the party, or whether his leadership will continue to unravel.